3, 2, 1.
It's the Puff and Steph podcast.
Another day, another podcast. Puff and Steph hanging out on your listening device. Whether you're watching us or listening to us, we appreciate you very much for being here. We appreciate our sponsors. Make sure that you follow them on all their socials, and make sure that you continue to follow us. We appreciate you very much. Hi, Steph. What are we wearing? A Susquehanna t-shirt today.
Susquehanna field hockey, which you just recently called fake hockey, which I don't hate.
I wanted to see if I could slip it by. I was like, what time's fake hockey practice? And this is what you did. This is what you did. you gave me like angry Steph face for like about 2.5 seconds, then you started laughing.
I was trying to look angry, but it didn't work. I couldn't stick with it.
No, you rarely can. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a real type of hockey. So
it is very real.
So we'll go with that. I will, if I'm allowed to, I will come to a game this year, I promise.
You should. As of now, PIAA said we're moving forward with the fall season.
I saw that. It was great news. That came down, Friday last week?
Yeah, it was Thursday or Friday. They said, we're moving forward, so we're very excited.
Yeah. So but I don't know how much spectators are going to be allowed. That's the thing I'm curious about. But I promise you, if I'm allowed, I will 100% come to at least one game.
Yay! Okay, fun.
Yeah. We'll see.
You can learn all about it, and then you can stop hating on it because you'll see that it's a really cool sport and requires a lot of endurance and skill. It's not just field hockey. It's a hard sport, and that ball is hard. Let me tell you, from someone who's been hit in the face with it, it's hard.
I'm sure that once I watch one field hockey game, I will totally stop picking on it. I'm sure you're right.
Or you should.
The mocking will stop. It is Wednesday, and that means Would You Rather. Are you ready?
Yes.
I think I know what your answer is going to be, and I also think that I'm going to try to convince you otherwise. Would you rather be stuck on an island alone or with someone who talks incessantly?
Oh my gosh, with someone who talks incessantly. Absolutely.
I would much rather be alone.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
And I think that you would last about a week or two before you'd probably end up trying to kill that person who talks.
But I don't know. I mean, some people overdo it with the talking for sure, but I'm a big talker as well. So I think I'd rather be with someone that I could talk to than just be by myself because I would go crazy.
I don't know. If I was stuck. Now, is it stuck forever? Stuck till we die? Stuck till we're rescued? I need to know a little bit more, but just this question, I'd rather be alone than have someone be like, oh my God, I can't believe we're stuck on this island. This reminds me of the time that I was with my family and we did this skill building or this bonding experience. Oh yeah. So okay, if we find some meat, are you a good cook? Can you cook it? What kind of meat do you like? Huh? What about bananas? Do you think you can reach up there and get those bananas? You think you can throw this thing up there to knock those bananas down? Oh man. What do you think happened to our plane? Why do you think it crashed? Do you think there are any other survivors? Should we go look for those survivors? Oh, man. I hope that lady at B-13 didn't make it. She was annoying. Do you remember her? She had that weird bag that she kept trying to fit in everyone's overhead compartment, but she couldn't fit it. And then finally they made her put it underneath a seat. She didn't want to put it underneath the seat because she said that's where her feet go. Remember that? I hope she didn't make it.
See, I mean, I could deal with something like that if I had no other options. If I was trying to get something done or be productive and someone talks like that, it can be a pain. But if you're stuck on an island, you might as well talk to somebody. There's nothing else to do.
Tom Hanks talked to a volleyball. I'd rather do that.
That's true. You can make the best of it.
I'd rather talk to Wilson than talk to someone who honestly probably wouldn't even let me get a word in edgewise. You know, you've been really quiet during this whole thing. Is there something you want to talk about? I know that when something's bothering me, I love talking about it. So if there's something you want to talk about, you can. But if not, it's okay. I mean, I keep talking. I always talk when I'm nervous, and I'm really nervous about this whole thing, so I don't know what's going to happen.
See, I could deal with something like that. I'd rather have somebody to talk to. If I was alone, I think I'd go crazy. I know that I see why you say that though, because I feel like you'd rather just be alone.
They'd be like, "Oh my God, Puff, we're so happy we saved you. Were there any other survivors?" No. Are you sure? Because a boat kind of sailed by here a couple days ago, and they thought they saw two. There was only one, just me. Don't look for anyone else. Everyone else died. All right, we trust you. You should.
That poor person, and I'm picturing it being a boy for some reason that talks incessantly. It's a guy with glasses, and he doesn't stop talking.
And his
Right?
name is Alexander.
I could totally see that. He's smart, but he doesn't stop talking.
Yeah, and he doesn't like he's like, "Okay, Alex, can you grab the coconuts over there?" I told you my name is Alexander. I don't go by Alex.
That's him.
Okay.
It's Alexander.
Yeah. That's
Nailed
that's who I would be stuck with my luck.
Yup.
And you'd be stuck with, I don't know, probably some girl that you get along with, and you guys would talk about fake hockey all the time.
And we'd be best friends. See, I actually think I've been with you before when we've been in a situation where someone just talks and talks and talks, and I enjoy seeing you react to it because you are nice. You're just kind of like, yep. I've experienced that with you.
Yeah, that sounds like me. So, any place else we can go that's not here with this person? All right. So, there's $1 million research grant that's been awarded to something called Interspecies IO Forum. It's a group whose mission, you're going to love this. I plucked this out of the story bin just for you. And yes, I have a bin of stories. It's a group whose mission is to encourage, explore, and facilitate interfaces for interspecies communication. Basically, it's a group that's going to develop products and technologies that let us talk to animals.
Nuh-uh, it's like the wild thornberries. It's coming to life.
Okay. I don't know.
You don't know about the wild thornberries?
I know it's a show. Is it like a
Zoe's throwing
Nickelodeon
up.
or something? What'd you say?
Zoe's throwing up again.
Man, she just loves ruining shows. Cool.
She has a sensitive stomach. It was on Nickelodeon, you're right. So it was about Eliza Thornberry and her family, and Eliza could talk to animals. It was so cool, and I always wanted to be like that. So that's kind of what this reminds me of. Stop acting like you're not listening to me. I'm not talking that incessantly.
Oh. Sorry. Basically, the group encourages and supports using technologies to interact with animals in the same way computers can translate different human languages. One of the group's founders says, "No one is yet close to creating artificial Dr. Dolittle, but technology that enhances people's communication with their pets would be a lucrative market." He's 100% right. And I got a cough. Excuse me.
Do what you gotta do.
Ugh.
No, that is absolutely amazing. And I already have conversations with my dogs, but if they could actually respond, it would be even better.
All right, here is the big question for you, Steph. What is the first thing you would ask Zoe? Now, mind you, the first thing might not even be the most important question. But what is the first thing you would ask Zoe?
You know, aside from who's a good girl, it would probably
Could you imagine if you had like only one question to ask your dog and they would respond and you would go, "Who's a good girl?" Rough. And then the computer would be like, "Me. I'm a good girl."
Okay, other than that, I think honestly what I would say is like, do you love me as much as I love you? I have to know. Because in my mind, you really, really love me. I have to know.
I mean, it's a good question. It's a good
Right.
question.
What would you say to Moogie and Cash?
I don't know. I don't know how deep I would get. Like, I'd be like, "Moogie, do you remember Ronnie?"
Oh, that's a good one.
You know what I mean? And Cash, I would
Yeah.
just be like, are you happy you're here? Like, do you miss your old family? Things like that. I don't know if I would get deep with them. I definitely wouldn't be like, who's a good boy? Definitely would not go that route. Would not.
You'd be a little more practical.
Great news, Steph. We're staying on dogs. This show is all about you, by the way. This show is like Steph's best hits. I'm telling you. Coming up next, this dog had an incredible journey.
It's the Puff and Steph Podcast.
During this time, many are out of work and struggling just to get by. It's good to know that your friends at Capital City Buy and Sell in Harrisburg have your back. If you're in need of extra help during the pandemic, you can pawn or sell unwanted or unneeded items that you may have laying around your house, including jewelry, electronics, tools, musical instruments, and a whole lot more. Capital City Buy and Sell is open 7 days a week, and they're always paying cash. Plus, they have low pawn interest and terms if you aren't quite ready to say goodbye to your item just yet. Capital City Buy and Sell, 3517 Walnut Street, Harrisburg. Online at harrisburgpapawn.com. Great news, everyone! American Shaman of PA's doors are back open for normal operations, and they're ready to bring you the much-needed relief that you've been waiting for. They care about their customers, and their customers keep coming back for more. Steve K says, American Shaman products drastically decrease my back pain and relieve my stress in just 1 month. Thank you. Stop by your local American Shaman of PA store for a free CBD sparkling water and free samples. Find their locations and more at hempushealth.com.
Do you love saving money but hate buying one of those coupon books filled with places you'll never go to? Well, here comes Quick Save Coupons to save the day. Quick Save Coupons is an app where you can find savings for restaurants, stores, and experiences that you will love. And here's the best part, it's free. No big coupon books to buy, no websites to give your information to. Quick Save Coupons will show you all of the savings in your area right on your phone. Just go to Google Play or the App Store and download the Quick Save Coupons app. Then start saving money on many of the places you already go to.
Now back to the Puff and Steph Podcast.
I could not tell you this story. So just a couple minutes ago, we talked about communicating with your dogs. That's a Steph story. And now we're talking about another dog story, but I couldn't, in good conscience, I couldn't not do this story. Because if I didn't do this story and you saw this and came to me like later this week or next week, you'd be like, hey, can we do this story? And I told you that I saw it last week and didn't do it. Like, you would be mad. Like, and I don't want you to be mad at me, but you would be mad. Like, I'm not going to talk to you for at least the weekend. So, it's a happy ending, so don't worry about it. A dog went missing from her family's Kansas home.
Oh.
She ran away. They put up flyers and everything.
I can't even imagine how scary that is.
Couldn't find the dog. Obviously, starting to assume the worst. Was gone for a couple weeks. This happened in Kansas. A week later, the dog turned up.
Oh.
60 miles away at the family's old home.
No way! He
Yeah.
found his way to their old home.
Yeah. So this guy named Colin Mitchell, he moved into the home a couple years ago. He was surprised to find a dog on his porch, a 4-year-old golden retriever, and the dog was microchipped. So they take the dog to a vet. They scan the microchip and find out the dog belonged to the house's former residents. And after a little digging, they found Cleo, that's the name of the dog, found Cleo's owners had posted on Facebook about a week earlier that the dog was missing from the family's home 60 miles away. Both families said that they're at a loss to explain Cleo's long journey.
Oh.
The dog would have had to cross a river somehow to make it back to her former home.
What?
Like, how do you think Cleo crossed a river? Did Cleo jump on the back of a car? Did she walk across the walking part of a bridge? Did she get in the water and swim across? Because that's dangerous.
Right. Oh my God, she's the goodest girl. See, dogs are so freaking smart. Oh, I love it.
I figured.
What a happy ending.
I figured like that story.
I love it. Oh, Cleo.
It reminds me of that Homeward Bound movie.
That's what I was thinking. It's like Homeward Bound in real life.
Yeah.
I can't even watch that movie anymore. When I was younger, I used to watch it, but now it just makes me sad, even though I know there was a happy ending.
Like, spoiler alert, they all survive.
Right.
Like, I know, like, right toward the end, there's a sad part where you don't think one of the dogs make it. By the way, that dog's name is Shadow. Don't know why I remember that.
Oh, I love Shadow.
Shadow's like, oh. He sounds like an old man. Oh, I don't remember the kid's name. Oh, Jason. Or whatever he said.
Jason.
I don't remember his name.
Right, because it was Sassy, Chase, and
Shadow.
Yep.
They all made it. Sorry if I ruined the movie for anyone, but, the movie came out in the 90s, so it's your fault if you haven't seen it yet. And it was made for kids, so chances are a dog wasn't going to die. Or a cat.
Right.
But yeah, no, this is a good story. I thought I'd share it because I know you'd get mad at me if I didn't. Okay.
Thank you.
Now a story that I want to do. A shark grabbed a 10-year-old boy from off of a fishing boat off the coast of Australia.
Oh, we can't go from doing such a happy story to doing something so sad and scary.
Here's what happened. Friday, a boy was just chilling on the side of a fishing boat, and a shark came up and grabbed him by the leg and ripped him off of the fishing boat. It does have a happy ending, though. The kid's dad goes into dad mode and leaps off of the boat onto the shark. The shark ends up swimming away. The child was wearing a life vest as he accompanied his father and two other men on this 20-foot boat, fishing 3 miles from shore. The boy was taken to a hospital, stable condition, cuts to his arm, chest, and head after the attack. If it's my kid, I jump. If it's a friend, I'm like, someone get help!
See, that was my next question was, would you save me or like one of your other friends if they were being attacked by a shark? Because that's like your biggest fear. But in that moment, you don't have time to like, hold on, I'll call 911. Like, you either do something about it or that's the end of my life. So what do you do?
Man, this is tough. How big's the shark?
It's a decent size. And my leg is getting chopped off every second you take to contemplate whether or not I'm worth it.
Oh, man.
This shouldn't be that hard.
Oh, man. It's a shark, though.
But jumping on top of it
all right.
would be...
Next question. What was that?
What was what?
That noise.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, okay. Anyway. Okay, so does the shark have your leg, or are you like already in the shark's mouth and it's like got you waist? Because here's the thing: if you're like in the shark, like if this is the shark's mouth and you're like inside it, both legs, you're probably screwed. But if it just has your leg, like it had this boy's leg. So
hold on, back it up. If you think that she's already in its mouth, I'm not even gonna bother, then you just give up. That's the end of it. Bye, Steph. Goodbye.
Well, I'm not gonna sacrifice myself too. You're probably dead.
But if you land on top of the shark, I don't think you're really in danger. You could ride it, like you could land like on top of it.
Oh, really? Are you a marine biologist? Do you know this for a fact?
Not exactly, but let's just say that it has my leg, and you know that I don't want to turn around and poke it in its eyes because I get freaked out about all that eye goop getting in my fingernails.
Okay, so number one, I would be like, poke in the eyes, and you'd be like, I don't want to, it's gross, and I'd be like, fine, and then maybe I would do it.
Okay.
85% chance I help.
Okay, so we have a full conversation while this is all happening.
Yeah.
Decide.
Poke in the eye, Steph, remember? Yeah, I remember. Do you remember I didn't want to do that because I didn't want the eye goop on my fingernails? Oh, yeah, that's right. So.
And then you come in and help me, and you save me, and we live happily ever after.
Yeah, probably. I would. 85% chance I help. That's.
I think you would.
I would take it if I were you. I'd take that 85%.
In the moment, I think you would. So thank you.
Okay, good. All right, so this mask thing getting a little crazy, and we'll talk about it next.
It's the Puff and Steph Podcast.
During this time, many are out of work and struggling just to get by. It's good to know that your friends at Capital City Buy and Sell in Harrisburg have your back. If you're in need of extra help during the pandemic, you can pawn or sell unwanted or unneeded items that you may have laying around your house, including jewelry, electronics, tools, musical instruments, and a whole lot more. Capital City Buy and Sell is open 7 days a week, and they're always paying cash. Plus, they have low pawn interest and terms if you aren't quite ready to say goodbye to your item just yet. Capital City Buy and Sell, 3517 Walnut Street, Harrisburg. Online at harrisburgpapawn.com. Great news, everyone! American Shaman of PA's doors are back open for normal operations, and they're ready to bring you the much-needed relief that you've been waiting for. They care about their customers, and their customers keep coming back for more. Steve K says, American Shaman products drastically decrease my back pain and relieve my stress in just 1 month. Thank you. Stop by your local American Shaman of PA store for a free CBD sparkling water and free samples. Find their locations and more at hempushealth.com.
Do you love saving money but hate buying one of those coupon books filled with places you'll never go to? Well, here comes Quick Save Coupons to save the day. Quick Save Coupons is an app where you can find savings for restaurants, stores, and experiences that you will love. And here's the best part. It's free. No big coupon books to buy, no websites to give your information to. Quick Save Coupons will show you all of the savings in your area right on your phone. Just go to Google Play or the App Store and download the Quick Save Coupons app. Then start saving money on many of the places you already go to.
Now back to the Puff and Steph Podcast.
So, like last Friday or the Friday before, I don't know when this happened. It happened on a Friday. Employees at a Verizon store in Roseville, California, called 911 after 3 people walked into the store and, contrary to the store policy, refused to wear masks. So they called 911.
Is that what you're supposed to do?
I have no idea. Not only did they refuse to wear masks, they then refused to leave when asked. So, I mean, technically, what's supposed to happen here is they can deny service, right? So if they say, wear masks, that's part of our that's part of our policy, and they say no, say, well, then you have to leave. It's the same thing as no shirt, no shoes. You know, you've seen it inside or, you know, at store windows forever. No shirt, no shoes, no service. Now it's no shirt, no shoes, no mask, no service. Well, then the woman in the trio said, not only am I not leaving, she dropped trow and peed on the floor in the store.
Because she wasn't wearing a mask and they wouldn't let her in.
No, she was already in. They wouldn't leave. And they were like,
okay, so
they were like, you have to leave. And she went, not only am I not leaving, I'm going to pee on your floor.
like, what point does that make sense?
I sure showed them.
I'll show you.
Roseville police arrested the woman after also finding several stolen items from a nearby Dick's Sporting Goods in her vehicle.
Oh my gosh, were there drugs involved? Because I'm feeling like there's a little something else going on.
There has to be. This can't.
Right.
And before any of you comment and say this was, well, that's what you get with the, and then insert political party here. I'm telling you this, no political party is pro urinating in a store. I'm
right.
just
Nobody's
being
okay
honest
with
with you. Like, everybody on every side of every aisle is like, not a fan of peeing on the floor. Nope.
Right.
That's not my campaign slogan.
Yeah. Nobody's cool with that.
When you were growing up in Duncannon, did you ever get, or your parents get into tiffs with the neighbors over anything?
We were just talking about this the other day, actually. We had great neighbors in Duncannon. We never had issues with them. We were very lucky.
Well, there was a property dispute in Maine, And these two neighbors were arguing over the property line because a guy said a garage was built on his property. Well, come to find out, he was actually right. The judge in the case said, yeah, this garage is there. The man, after the hearing, immediately went home. The neighbor whose property the garage was kind of infringing on, he immediately went home and used a saw and cut the dude's garage in half.
That was his solution.
Mm-hmm.
See, again, peeing on the floor, cutting this guy's garage in half, they're not great solutions. That's the theme of what's going on here.
I don't even know what happened. I don't know if the dude got arrested or what. It's on his property. He can kind of do whatever he wants within reason. He didn't kill anyone. He destroyed someone else's property, but it was on his property. I don't know. Maybe we'll get an update.
Ooh. Yeah, that's tricky. Like, what is the answer there? Is he technically in the wrong?
We may not know this answer, but Steph, maybe you'll know the answers to these questions. Transition, boom. Time to stump Steph. Almost 60% of married women surveyed said their husband isn't very good at this. What is this?
Cleaning, housework.
No. It's good. That's a good answer, but it's not right. Almost 60% of women, maybe that number would be higher. Almost 60% of married women surveyed said their husband isn't very good at this.
Is it something around the house?
Nope.
Is it like an activity, like
Yep.
running?
It's something you do. It's not necessarily running, but it's something you do.
Where do you do it? Like out somewhere else?
You don't do it in the house. You do it outside the house. But you don't technically do it outside, if that makes any sense.
Oh, driving.
Yeah, driving.
See, I would think that more men would say that about their wives, because guys are always like, women are terrible drivers. Like, guys say that all the time.
I've ridden with you a handful of times. I don't think you're a terrible driver.
Thank you. I like to think of myself as efficient, as we've talked about before, but not terrible.
Oh, you're not a terrible
Actually, wait. I'm kind of insulted. What do you mean? You're not a terrible driver.
Well, because you just said men would think that their wives are terrible drivers, and since you're my work wife, I was answering that you're not a terrible driver. See,
You think I'm a bad driver?
This is the problem: is that I offer you a compliment that means absolutely exactly what you think it means, which is you're not a terrible driver. That's a compliment, and you as a woman go, well, I'm going to overthink this and assume that you mean I'm a bad driver then.
Yep, that's
Hold
what I
on.
do. I overthink things.
Let me be specific. Steph, you are a good driver. There. Are you happy?
Thank you. I am happy. That's all I wanted. Was that so hard?
Yeah, it kind of was. Didn't need to be said. Anyway, only 7% of women surveyed said that they would trust their husband to do this correctly. What is it?
Is this housework?
Yep.
Is it doing the laundry?
Wow. Wow. Your first guess, your first real guess, because the housework was a question.
Right.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, see, you've never lived with a dude, so you don't have experience with this. Can your brother do laundry?
I mean, both my brothers can, but I know a lot of like friends of mine that are married and stuff who say like, oh, I don't even let him do it. He'd screw it up. And
How do you screw up laundry? The only thing that I do bad, and I admit this 100%, I don't fold and put away clothes. They end up in baskets or in piles in the house, and I'm so bad at that part of it. But other than that, it's just putting it in the washer and turning it on. Like it's not rocket science, people. It's really not.
So your clothes get clean, you just don't like put them away.
Yeah, I'm awful at that. 100%
Yeah.
awful. Just
I mean, at least they're clean.
the shirt is clean.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not. Hold on. Yeah, it's
Give
not
it a
bad.
sniff.
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, see,
Good.
I'm a capable human being. All right, guys, we will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
It's the Puff and Steph Podcast.